Yeah, exactly. There's a lot that he really needs to do, both from advantageous and disadvantageous positions. And finally, we're getting into the grand finals, set one, game one here on PS2. Very similar to how they started in their winners final set. And a very similar start. Once again, Sisqui off to a strong lead.
Right, and those down B bombs again coming in big for Sisqui, really denying that ledge space for Luigi, and then combined with the charge shot, just amazing coverage. Lugi finally finding his break, and the break is in the best possible way, but oh no, the up B did not connect. That could have been such a huge swing. And I mean, to be fair, looking at the percentages, it is still a big swing. We see that baby charge shot almost comboing into the forward tilt. That's such a huge kill confirm for Samus, finding the backer at the end of the day. It can be so tricky, right? Because Samus, you feel like she jumps into the air, she's floaty, she's committing hard, but then because she's floaty, she also gets to pull out one extra hitbox. That one hitbox that you didn't expect, the double back air, exactly what caught Lugi off guard. Finding the fireballs is a way to get in and messing up the up B, but in that scenario, that might have been the best case scenario because that up B would not have connected otherwise. Gets the down throw down B, not a KO either. Samus is quite heavy. Nice
really
defense
like Sisqi's, yeah, I really like Sisqi's DI throughout that whole sequence. The DI'd in knowing that Lugi's primarily looking for the DI away to avoid that up B, and then once he was out of percent for the up B to connect, he was more than happy to DI away again versus the potential down B. Now full stock lead for Sisqui here.
Yep, it looks close percentage-wise, but the down air is going to lead into the KO, putting Sisqui in quite a tough situation. Sisqui tries to read the jump with the back air. I like the idea, but again, Samus' floatiness, definitely a weakness to roll in. One of the best ways to counter Samus. So if you want to get through Samus' keep away, rolling in can be a very important mix-up to establish. As we saw right there, twice almost getting him the neutral win with that roll. If only he had a faster grab. But, you know, them's the spoils. Luigi not going to get that punish after the roll in, but being able to infiltrate Samus like that does send a message. No jump for Lugi, has to make the comeback or has to make the recovery happen without it. Does do so, but pushed into the corner, fights his way out. Big combo. Sisqui air dodging out. Cool, calm, collected.
Yeah,
very
once
back
again
and forth.
DIing in. Yeah, it's, even with all the damage that Sisqi's tacked on, you know, Lugi's doing a great job finding these grabs. Max Rage, Luigi Cyclone, not enough to take the stock just yet. Good recovery coming out from Sisqui.
Yep, buffer is a side beat, but it doesn't matter. The grab on the normal get just that one mix-up that you need, right? Lugi expecting the charge shot for good reason, and then getting grabbed for it. Very, very nice. Sisqui so far looking to be strong. Lugi still in the game. I think Sisqui could play a little bit more patient. If you compare this to how he played game 5 of last set, he's definitely a lot more active, a lot more willing to make hard reads and callouts, and I feel like he doesn't really need to. Right? Ooh, the mix-up on the DI in. Like you mentioned before, Viren, Sisqui, such good DI mix-ups. Just saying, hey, I know it's logical for me to DI out. I'm going to DI in this time. But at the end of the day, is going to take his stock with the back air. Lugi keeping it close. Gets a combo starter. Could be big.
Yeah, once again, a lot of this is just down to Sisqui committing to offense that it doesn't feel like he needs to. You know, Lugi's getting a lot more grab openings, even in this one game, comparative to what he was getting before. Doesn't get the sweet spot. There's the standard stop smash. Doesn't get the KO just yet. Now we're on a final last hit situation between these two in this first game.
And it is what we mentioned before. It's that aggression by Sisqui. It's that aggression by Sisqui. You don't need to grab out of the corner. You're playing Samus. Still goes for it, tries to establish it. And this kind of goes back to what we talked about in the previous sets, where you gotta balance your aggression with your defense, man. Like, you don't need to establish your grab mix-up when you're the one in the corner. So at the end of the day, Lugi making great use of that, saying, hey, I'm only gonna go for my big hits when they come to me, not gonna force them, as Sisqui is gonna give it to him. Just like that. It's Christmas all over. Presents. Just like that, raining from the sky. And it kind of hurts to see, right? Because I feel like on paper, if you play this slowly, like you said in previous sets, or even as we analyzed this grand finals coming up to it, it feels like Luigi shouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah, and that's how it felt at the start of that game as well. It was really tricky for Lugi to get anything started until he found that one opening. But that was after taking a good like 70 or so %. And after that, it felt like Sisqui had almost somewhat abandoned that kind of game plan. He wanted to up the pace of the gameplay for some reason. But I think we're going to see a shift here on Battlefield, knowing that he can, more liberally kind of hover around center stage, abuse that up B out of shield. I think we're going to see a very kind of similar flow to what we saw in the winners final set.
Yeah, and I'm surprised to not see Carlos banned, honestly, because Carlos looked like the problem in the previous set. However, since we preferred Battlefield, I get why Battlefield is a favorite for a lot of Samus players, partially because up B becomes a lot less laggier on this stage because the platform is giving extra mix-ups, especially that top platform, just like that. Lugi, however, making use of Luigi's surprisingly high full hop. Luigi has one of the highest full hops in the game, and using that to match Samus's up B jump all the way to the top platform and getting a punish where most characters would not be able to. And look at this improvised pull down air. Is this the melee Falco pillaring right here? Lugi getting the biggest damage off of that improvised combo that I never saw coming, finishing it all the way into a stock. Lugi looking dominant.
Yeah, Lugi's just decided, I'm not slowing the pace of this game down. I'm gonna rev it up. I'm gonna rev it up again. You're gonna have to keep up. That's exactly what's happening so far. Look at these combo strings coming out from Lugi. Just, for the first time across both of these sets, it feels like Sisqui is the one who's kind of lost at the moment.
Sisqui throwing out these grabs so they feel a little bit off, like you said. He feels lost. We talked about before, there's a time and a place to set up your mix-up. And Sisqui at the moment just looks to be struggling to just find a single hit and get back into the game. And that's what he does. Finds this charge shot, goes into the forward air to Zaire as well. Down B gets stalled out by Lugi, but this roll is getting red, struggling to get out of the corner. And this is where we've seen Sisqui win so many games, right? When Lugi's on the corner and the down Bs can be set up. A B interception. Sisqui likes to establish that beforehand.
That time instead going for the charge shot, knowing that he's got a couple of grabs before and maybe thinking that Lugi was going to be ready for the mix-up, but he wasn't. He was just shielding.
There's the forward.
Takes that first stock.
Yeah, exactly as you said. Stays in the game. Just about charge shot into down throw forward air. Now it's conversion, another forward air using the wave dash to reposition. Neutral air beats the air dodge. Lugi has no jump. I think this might be curtains. That is curtains, and we're back to even. I said staying in the game, I meant evening it back up. Sisqui is a menace.
Pristine stock coming out from Sisqui right there. It was all started from that charge shot. Got a good couple of reads on that jump, but now it's Lugi's turn. My goodness, if that KO'd right there, I don't know what I would have done.
Lost my mind is what I would have done. However, Sisqui answering back with a nice 46% of his own. Again, the forward air, Lugi seems to be struggling for a hit right now. Right, so the roles are kind of reversed. It's Lugi who's committing to the grabs. It's Lugi who's committing to the jumps, and Sisqui is all too happy to cover all of that. And that's the name of the game. Sisqui relies on coverage, and he does not really discriminate between offensive and defensive coverage. And when Lugi makes great use of that and focuses on basically countering Sisqui, when Sisqui decides to cover offensively, that's when he's succeeding. But right now, he's committing himself. He's looking for the big hits, as Sisqui is all too happy to just play the coverage game, set up the down B for the ledge trap, force a shield break, force a roll, but doesn't have the reaction. That's so close. The backer doesn't hit. Ooh, the offstage.
I want to quickly talk about that previous corner sequence. It was so good with the bomb pressure coming out from Sisqui and just placing it on the stage, and then using the down smash as well to just completely apply so much pressure to Lugi. Of course, that happened a little while ago. Finally closing out that stock with that charge shot, but that particular moment was one that really impressed me. One that showed me that yes, this is a man who is incredibly capable and specialized with his character. He knows exactly what he's doing. He has these kind of more nuanced situations labbed out, planned out, and yeah, it was all enough in the grand scheme of things to take that to a game 3.
Yep, for sure. 1-1 on the scoreboard, and esports pose Sisqui gets to go back to Battlefield. So Lugi saying, hey, I get what happened there. It's not the stage, it's me. Let's see how it goes this time around. Let's see what Lugi has planned, because I cannot imagine going back to Battlefield after that game purely on instinct, right? Especially at the end there, we saw Lugi playing way more of a greedy game, I want to say. And that's a term we don't use a lot nowadays, right? We're like, oh, he's mashing, he's fishing, but like kind of to embody all of that is the term greedy. And we saw that. We saw the grabs come out, we saw the up smash reads come out, we saw the roll-ins come out. He was greedy for stage control, greedy for kills, greedy for combo starters, and that is the main thing I want to see Lugi adjust to right now. And so far, the air to center stage is not giving me a lot of faith in Lugi. That's a very greedy way to get back to the center. Right now, though, the grab into the up B isn't going to connect. Again, Sisqui got those DI mix-ups on deck. Very, very sharp observation by you a while ago, Virum, and I've been seeing it ever since.
Yeah. So important to mix up how you DI versus that down throw versus Luigi. You don't want him to, because in order for him to get that up B versus the DI away, he has to preemptively dash in. DI in, the dash in makes it considerably harder to get the sweet spot up B afterwards. You can get the down B, but that's significantly less rewarding. And we're seeing right now, because he's not able to get those key openings, because he's not able to get those grabs, as you were saying before, he's overextending, he's being greedy, and as a result, Sisqui is expanding this lead bit by bit. And he snipes him with that up air, not enough to get the KO just yet. Snipes him again with the charge shot, and this time enough to get the KO. Very similar to what we saw in the final game of the winner's final set. Sisqui having a very, very comfortable lead.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was gonna say, Virum, is that this reminds me of Game 5 winners final Sisqui. Just very nice very nice control over the game, playing a very defensive coverage-based playstyle, and Lugi seems to struggle with that the most, especially at this deficit where these roll-ins starts happening, they get punished. These whiff grabs, they get punished. This double jump to center stage, surprise, it's getting punished. And Lugi, he does find a hit here or there, but it's never enough. Oh, nice tech by Sisqui, good press of mind, expecting the reversal to happen again. A roll in by Lugi gets countered. No full hops for Luigi, way too floaty to get away with that, and he's just not finding that final hit. Lugi, how will you make it out of this precarious situation? The Nair almost connecting. Sisqui just wants to end it right here and now. That up B. At this point, there's not much left for Lugi to do. However, he does have the rage. He does have the combo at 0. Uh-oh. Hang on. Drops the combo. No, the landing up air did not come out. Sisqui getting that chance to end it right here and now get stage spiked, but it wasn't a big deal. Ooh, Lugi, you're making me sweat. But, yep, that up B. Sisqui has been throwing so many of those out, Virum.
Yep. And it was almost kind of fortunate because he lost that stock, that up B became considerably more fresh. So he'd only used it like once before. He's only hit him with like one on the fresh stock, where he hit him with multiple in the previous one. So I'm not even sure if that up B would have killed if he was on his previous stock, just because of how stale it had become.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Battlefield's ceiling is significantly, well, it's higher than something like Pokemon Stadium 2, which is what we've seen them play on before. So that could also play into it. It's not as high comparatively as it was in Smash 4, for example. But I almost feel like I could be alone in this, but I almost feel like the Pokemon Stadium 2 ceiling has become the new gold standard. While in reality, it's I think the lowest ceiling out of all of the legal stages. So yeah, the platform positioning, the up B, all just coming together beautifully. The lost talk as well. It's 1 + 1 + 1, and that makes 3. And right now, game 3 is won by Sisqui, and now Lugi has to win 2 in a row to get the comeback on deck. Up air, not gonna combo yet at 0. Sisqui just getting right back into it, using the bombs to get a lasting hitbox defensively, forcing Lugi to commit to get around the bomb, and using that time to charge a charge. A very common pattern for Samus, and something that you have to be ready for. How do I beat the bomb and make sure she doesn't charge, right? So far, Lugi doesn't have the answer, but does get the grab with the fireball from the offstage. A nice reversal like that drops the final hit of the combo. Sisqui doesn't get too big of a punish, but an advantage hit regardless. Down throw up B, down throw down air. Interesting mix by Lugi. A very back and forth first stock. We're just heading into it. They're constantly hitting each other. The bomb ledge trap, big part of Sisqui's game plan. Lugi avoids it. he gets away with a lot of stuff that he hasn't gotten away with previously.
Yeah, missing that edge guard as well. Good recovery from Sisqui.
Ooh.
Lugi's been doing a really good job with those edge guards. Finally gets the kill confirm off of that down throw. Coming out with his own combo from the down throw as well. All that edge guards. Not quite going to hit.
Oh.
Missile the wrong way.
Yeah, you have to wonder what the... Yeah, you have to wonder what the misinput there was. However, Sisqui, it's still good. He's down a little bit. Doesn't punish the ledge tuck, wasn't ready for it. And the down smash gets covered by the down B bomb and gets the up B to convert off of it. No KO, but that was a nice little sequence. Very good awareness of the down B and the down B allowing him to throw out a risky move like the down smash and now getting the revenge KO. 40% on Sisqui, not that bad, especially since he's now out of the scary combo percent, which is a huge swinging factor in this matchup.
40% is a charge shot combo. Very easy for Samus to make that up, as we've already seen. Speaking of combos, Luigi, so much damage just coming out with these rising up airs. Sometimes Luigi's just able to convert so much of these kind of random stray hits. They can be a little bit awkward for him to get those stray hits just because of the nature of his physics. But when he does, the reward is so good.
I agree, and I'm impressed with how well Lugi reacts to the stray hits as well. Like we saw in I think it was the previous game or the game before that, where he just got like triple down air combos, all of them spiking, which is just insane awareness to me, just knowing exactly what your combo routes are, even when your combo route is triple down air. That's just not something that most people would be ready for. Lugi built different, and in this case, back in the lead too, getting that roll in. He's been trying to get those roll-ins quite frequently now, been getting punished for them, but the one time he does succeed, gets the up smash to close out the stock. And again, we see that bomb down smash ledge trap by Sisqui, gets a solid lead. Baby charge shot, dash attack, huge confirm for Samus. Like you mentioned before, her various charge shot levels having various confirms is probably one of the biggest improvement points for any starting Samus player, right? If you're just, you got the basics down, now you gotta learn the confirms based on the various charge shot percentages. Sisqui definitely far above that level, knowing how to accurately convert every single charge level depending on percentage, etc. Lugi, in the meantime, found a little bit of a combo, gets reverse comboed, but not too bad actually. Uses the down B to get out. Now Sisqui tries to make it out of the corner. This is scary for Sisqui because you know he's in down throw up B percent, and there was the grab by Lugi, exactly as when we mentioned it. Sisqui wants to play it slow, doesn't want to commit offensively. Nice up B, just making sure there's no grab coming out. The neutral B feint, gets the grab instead. Now holds on to the corner situation. Lugi tries to fight his way out, but it's not gonna matter. Sisqui just sniping Lugi off stage out of nowhere. It's the explosive gameplay. Sisqui taking the win home.
Yep, and that'll be it. Get on my line 2021 going to Sisqui, the European division, going to him. He was, of course, the first seed of the tournament, so you know, for those who know who he is, it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, but an excellent performance nonetheless, able to take that set 3-1. But throughout this whole bracket, we've seen excellent performances from all of our players in this top 16. Lugi, fantastic throughout, getting a very respectable second place, heavily outplacing his seed. Same with Super Striker in third place. Tarek, of course, getting fourth. In fifth, we had Selkie and Freetox, and then seventh place, we had Nimby and Stormander Bowser Jr.
Yeah, we got a nice representation of various countries in this top 8, so that's always awesome to see. So many people coming together, even though, you know, we're separated by seas, by land, on occasions like this, we can still all enjoy the game together. So awesome, heartwarming for me. Hope you guys enjoyed those games as well. Of course, we got some replays coming up for you in a second. For now, though, Virum, I want to ask you, what do you feel like Lugi was missing in the grand finals?
Oh, that's tough. I think a lot of it came down to him feeling the need to take a lot more risks than he was before. I think he was doing that a lot in game one, and it worked for quite a while. He got a lot of momentum. He was able to get a lot of those grabs. But then there came a point where those grabs were not landing anymore. We saw a lot of whiffed grabs in that final game in particular. After Sisqui had kind of slowed the pace down, he started playing to his own advantages. He was catching a lot of those landings from Lugi as well. You know, Lugi trying his best to come down on top or away from Samus, but when you have physics that floaty as Luigi, it's a lot easier for Samus to just kind of react and punish accordingly. So game one, very, very kind of similar edge guard situation that we saw in the winners final set right there happening as well.
Yep, and look at this, the pressure by Lugi jumping over the grab, and we talked about this. When should you mix your opponent up? Not when it's unnecessary. Too risky, and Lugi making great use of basically the opponent overcommitting. In that situation though, Lugi just looking for ways to get out of the corner, and Sisqui always ready to capitalize on that corner situation. And I think that was the most important aspect of this set, was the way Sisqui just kept Lugi in the corner, and those upbeats in that game 3 were huge. Lugi just kept getting called out by them. Game 4, we saw some signs of life from Lugi, finding an early lead, but as Vera mentioned, one charge shot combo, and Sisqui is back into it. Lugi again with the lead, but then we come down to the final stock, and we see the forward air to the charge shot. Just a 1-2, a very, very simple and effective combo to finish off grand finals. What more can you ask for?
Not much more you can ask for from that. If it gets the job done, it gets the job done. That'll be the victory for grand finals, going once again to Sisqui. Very, very strong performance throughout all of the entire bracket, especially in this top 16. Really, he dropped a grand total of 4 games, 3 to Lugi, 1 to Freetox, and yeah, that was it.
Yep, and I like to see